Hi guys, Tory Justice Minister Alex Chalk was attempting to defend comments made by the Deputy Chair of the Conservative Party, Lee Anderson, about asylum seekers this week. The ex-Labour turned Tory MP Anderson said that migrants who didn't want to be placed on the Bibby Stockholm barge should F off back to France. I can't say the actual words the Tory MP said because YouTube would punish me. What a climate we live in. However, Nick Robinson of the BBC raised both this and Alex Chalk's previous condemnation of such language, which he now excuses. Have a listen to this.
You're being careful with your language this morning. The Conservative Deputy Chairman Lee Anderson has said to the Daily Express of these migrants, if they don't like barges, then they should F off back to France. Is that the Conservatives' policy?
Well, Lee is expressing in salty terms, I think, something that people well understand, which is that the British people have warm hearts, but we also want to have a secure front door. And it is not right that people who behave illegally, and incidentally, it has been illegal to arrive in this way for 50 years or so.
That's a lie. It's not illegal to arrive in the UK and claim asylum. UN conventions allow people to claim asylum in whatever country they want, if there are means to do so. But it's not, you cannot use the means of arrival as an argument against people's claim of asylum. So you can't say, well, you've arrived by dinghy, we're not going to give you asylum. And the UK government has been granting asylum in 80% of cases to people who have arrived by these channel crossings. So it's not illegal.
To jump the queue compared to those who have played by the rules and done the right things.
Should they F off back to France, as he suggests?
As I say, Lee has expressed himself in his own way, but the central point that he's making, is not unreasonable.
Many people listening don't know you well. You've become Justice Secretary relatively recently, replacing Dominic Raab. Now, you said a few years ago that you believed that Britain was a, quote, tolerant, outward-facing nation.
Yeah.
And you denounced people using rhetoric you didn't like as an excuse for ugly bigotry I thought we'd left long behind. Do you think telling people to F off back to France, who might have genuine claims to be asylum seekers, who might have escaped war and persecution, do you think that is the reflection of a tolerant, outward-facing nation?
I think that, look, this is absolutely fine. I have no difficulty with that. It's not bigotry at all. This...
You can hear his soul crumble. Now, I don't know if Alex Chalk is a reasonable, decent human being, because, you know, Tory MPs in the past have said things that seemed to be reasonable and decent. But now he's defending Lee Anderson, telling people to F off back to France. Now, it could be the case that Alex Chalk is a decent human being, but he's stuck in a party that is full of right-wing demagogues and headbangers and racists and bigots. So the first response is always to defend the party. And the Conservatives are very good at this. You don't see it so much in the Labour Party, but you definitely see it in the Conservatives, where somebody steps out of line, the party will defend them. You won't see many MPs criticising fellow MPs. Sometimes ministers will get criticised, but when it's in the party, and we saw it with Boris Johnson, the party were defending him too. You know, they voted against him in some ways, but generally the party will, when it comes to defending it against the public or against if it's a criticism from the public or from the opposition, they'll rally around the individual and they will defend them. And this seems to be the case here with Lee Anderson. Lee Anderson doing things that is disgusting. And you have government minister, Secretary of State saying, yeah, I'm going to defend him, even though he's doing exactly something that I would have criticised years ago.
This country, lest we forget, has offered its home to 400,000 people since 2015. So Ukrainians, people from Hong Kong, which I have in my own constituency in Cheltenham, Afghans, we are an open and warm and outward-facing country. But equally, we're a country that believes in fairness and playing by the rules. And those who don't play by the rules, who don't take advantage of those opportunities we provide and try to jump the queue, rightly cause indignation. And I think Lee was expressing that indignation in his own way, but there was nothing unreasonable in principle about what he was saying.
I think it's going to become more and more difficult for members of parliament in the Conservative Party, members of government, to defend this type of rhetoric, because you're going to hear more of it. As we get closer to the election and people like Lee Anderson and others know that they're going to lose their seat, they're not going to hold back. They're going to become even more extreme. Maybe Lee Anderson is doing it because he wants to boost his ratings. Lee Anderson is doing it because maybe he has another job lined up somewhere. It's highly likely he's going to lose his seat. So he has nothing to lose here. And he knows the Conservative Party will defend him, because that's what the Conservative Party do. They're not going to punish one of their members, and they're not going to punish him for criticising asylum seekers. It would be different if he was criticising the Prime Minister or criticising some minister or criticising the party itself. Then they would come down on him like a ton of bricks. Because it's somebody outside, they don't have a problem with that. But it does show the desperation, and it is quite disgusting. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.